Hey, what's up, narrators, and what's up, Bulls Nation? I wanted to add a few words of a sort of like a call it like a director's cut or like a post game of for the second season. My friends at the Center Hub were kind enough to invite me to their mock 2026 NBA trade deadline, and I represented the Chicago Bulls as a Bulls fan, someone who's done coverage for the Bulls as well. And I'm not going to recap every single thing I did. What I will do though, I'm going to plug the Bird Rights podcast. Go check out their feed. I'll have a link to that podcast I guested on where I explained everything I did in this trade deadline. Uh, Bird Rights podcast, great follow, great podcast put on by Stephen Bagel, who is also behind the Center Hub as well. Check that out. But what I want to talk about is taking some time to recap and think about the moves I did as the mock GM of the Chicago Bulls, or as I like to call myself, fake Arturas Karnisovas. I went down a path of doing a very aggressive rebuild of the Chicago Bulls roster. And I want to talk about, I think, in my mind, probably the two favorite deals out of the deals I did here. And I'm putting it all in sort of like a one pager. To quickly talk about the priorities I had going into this exercise, which you know, giving you some behind the curtains view as well. I mean, the main things I talked about publicly were improve the defense, acquire picks, but certainly deeper for that. And this is also just for like Bulls fans to really understand this roster, understand this team on a day-to-day basis. Arturas Karnisovas has a particular archetype of player that I do not like, and I'm just going to be very blunt about it. Even more than I have been on Twitter, if you follow me on Twitter, right? I wanted to get rid of a lot of the AK kind of guys. You know what I'm talking about, the tweener wing, long, athletic, young stuff he likes. I want that off my roster because you can't really build, to me, you can't build team defense with the kind of guys that AK likes to roster. And then, if possible, when I talk about acquiring a real core guy, which I did not accomplish in this trade deadline, think a prime all-star, prime all-NBA guy, long-term money. So I didn't really acquire that. What I did mostly is I was able to get rid of a lot of the AK guys. I prioritized heavily on building up the defense. And the interesting thing that I found, as much as I just notionally thought, let's try to acquire picks in this, I found myself actually strategically investing, sending out draft picks. And the reason why I did that is to actually build, in my point of view, a better immediate impact team defense. The two deals I want to talk about specifically where I'm excited about that, and these would be good, realistic options for the Bulls to figure out a deal framework for. Acquiring Sandro, I'm going to mess up his last name. Most people call him Mamu. He's from the Toronto Raptors. He is a really under-the-radar big right now. He's doing a lot of great things. Go check out his numbers if you're an analytically inclined person. Go watch his film. Shout out to my guy S. Barahani. He said a lot of great things about Mamu this season, and previous friend of the podcast as well. I actually went so far as to snag Mamu for 2 second-round picks. He's on a very cheap contract. I believe it's a minimum deal. I don't have the numbers in front of me, but long story short, he could be a great impact signing or a great impact acquisition for the Bulls. They found a way to acquire him. I was able just to send him out, acquire him with 2 second-round picks. The other one is, I think this is a lot of value and a lot of impact in this one. I ended up packaging together Vooch and Zach Collins, and I sent out an unprotected 2027 first-round pick to acquire Nicholas Claxton and Tyrese Martin from the Brooklyn Nets. What's great about that deal also is because of the money that Claxton has in his current contract, combined with Tyrese Martin, actually created a $14.2 million traded player exception within that, which I didn't actually later use to acquire Karis LeVert. Jackson Hayes is a player that I acquired in a previous trade, but he's a minimum contract guy. That trade protector, the trade player exception is valuable in that kind of deal because it just, to me, expands the value of what you're getting, because you're getting a solid defensive big that is on actually a declining deal. So what Claxton is making this season, he's going to make less than that by the time it gets to his expiring contract in 3 seasons. It's a valuable deal in that sense. I'll be candid, like I do have some concerns about potentially Claxton's defense declining, but his money's declining also. So it is what it is. And I find that to be a more impactful way to reshape the Bulls front court. And I'm saying this because Mamu and Clax, I would project them to be my starting, bigs basically. The 4 and the 5. Uh, to present Mod's opportunity to have more time on the ball. Again, I went into in depth about this whole philosophy and this rationale on the Bird Rights podcast, so go check that out. But this is probably what I'm the most excited about in retrospect. And I say that even as like having sort of Lou Dort gifted to me more or less, I really would be excited about front court. If the Bulls could somehow find their way to Clax and Mamu, that would be a huge step forward in terms of just a really impactful rebuild sort of move. The Bulls in reality probably wouldn't do that, but it's fake AK. I do things that real AK would never do. So just wanted to talk about this for a bit. Please like, comment, subscribe on this vlog video. Please subscribe to Narratives Per Possession on YouTube because we connect you to better basketball narratives. Be back soon with more.